it's a rare thing to find somebody that you can hand that song off to in trust, because the song is kind of like your baby, you know, and
Right.
you're emotionally attached to it. And, you know, you have this make sure it looks both ways before it crosses the roads kind of a care technique in
Sure.
there. So,
Yeah.
uh,
There's I guess to my point, there's a lot of psychology involved in all of this. As the artist, as the listener, as the mastering engineer.
mhm.
And you're, just to touch back to, I have seen you through, when I met you, we were both more performing artists decades ago. And over time,
Sure.
I've completely shifted to be a mastering engineer, and you have shifted. You are still a performing artist, but you have become a more studio savvy and production person. And having worked on a recording you did recently, I told you, is that this just sounds fantastic. You have developed that, I can give pointers, but you have to take that and say, okay, well, someone's telling me something. How do I interpret that to make the decisions? And I've seen you develop as a really great producer.
Well, thank you so much, but I owe that to you, because really what it is, it's the exchange of ego. Like, I know when I first started recording, I don't know anything about recording, but I love it and I'm going to do
But,
it because the
but
idea in my head as an artist is attached to my own hands. And so I
yeah,
want them to be on the board with that. So like I had to suspend my ego and accept yours. So like I say that in a positive way, because like if you're an expert of something, in this case you're an expert on this, I want your ego to be robust, meaning that you are aware of what you're doing and why and how and what
sure.
for. And so that's how I mean that term, not by the traditional definition. But you
Yeah,
know, we all think we know what we're doing, but I think part of the wisdom of recording and getting great sounding results is to know where you're expert and stick up for that with all the guns you have,
yeah,
and then know where you're not and find the people who can stick up for that with all the guns that they have. And that's how
right.
I've
Yeah,
always felt
needs
that
to
my recordings come out best.
right. There needs to be a balance between understanding, having some confidence, but
Mm-hmm.
not having much that you don't listen to other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's, and it's an interplay between the musician, the recording, and I think what I was getting at previously is that there used to be clearer lines of demarcation in the audio world. You were the artist. Here's the studio owner. Here's the mix person. Here's the mastering person. Now all those people could theoretically be one person. But when you look at it, it's like, how could one person have the knowledge and expertise to replace all these other people?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, they can't really. I mean, you're taking 4 or 5 specialists and trying to turn them into one generalist. And yes, through the decades, people can do home recordings that sound good, but I still think that there's a lot of value in collaborating with people, reaching out to people, working with other people, and understanding expertise, not just trying to say, I purchased the computer and the software bundle, therefore, end of story.
Well, the main word here that we haven't said yet is objectivity. I mean, art still is always divided by objectivity. So it
Right,
doesn't matter how great your processors are you making
right.
decisions that are artful, you know? So
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't purchase objectivity.
no, you
It's
can't.
not for sale. You can't buy objectivity. These things that, buying the computer and the mic and the software, they're all tools. But those tools still need to be wielded by people with expertise, with objectivity. That's what produces, you need a good song, you need good musicians, but then everything that becomes the capture, the mix, the master is all an important part of that process. And I think that there is you know, at any step along the way, if something is done improperly, it can sort of ruin everything before it. So there's also the knowledge that there needs to be sort of, an expertise and an objectivity in it to keep an eye on it.
Sure. All right. Well, Paul, thanks so much for coming by today and sharing all this wonderful information with us about the mastering process. and
Yes,
hopefully demystifying it somewhat for our readers.
it is.
If you're having a great time, make sure you visit Paul at zenmastering.com. He has a full service facility for mastering. It's very easy to work with. You can communicate, upload, and carry on all your business right there in a very simple fashion. If you're having a good time, make sure you subscribe to our newsletter, hit the like button, and also search for other articles by Paul that exist here at makingmusicmag.com. He's got a number of articles that explain in further detail about the mastering process and some of the recording things. If you search him on Google, you'll find him on EQ, Tape Op, Sound on Sound, and Recording Magazines. Very qualified individual. And also listen to his music. He's a wonderful musician, just all by itself. We should talk to you about that someday. Guitar month is coming up, so I'll be back to you. So thanks very much, Paul, my good friend, for stopping by Making Music today.
Thank you, Chuck.
Having coffee with you.
Cheers. Take care.
Cheers.
Happy.
I'll miss seeing you at NAMM, but I'll see you next year.